So everyone able to see my screen? Everyone able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Hello?
Yeah, we can listen and see.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So date and time we did, right? So date and time, for example, you can observe here. We did date and time, right? You can observe. So this is the 31st we are executed this script. So it is a 31st date scale. Maybe today we'll execute and we'll execute only once. So just I will execute only once. Okay. See now we'll see in date and time what date it will pick. Because in our scenario, so you want for the future date. So if you not did for the parameterization, your script will pass. Yes or no? See now you can observe in output window date and time parameterization. You can observe. See current date is picked or not.
Yes.
So means you did for the parameterization. So that is why you got for the like current date. But my scenario, I want for the sometimes will be depends on the our application, depends on the our requirement, right? I want for the future date, I want for the past date. So for example, I want book the return date would be maybe next this week 7th or something. So but here it is showing for the current date only, right? So how to we can do means if you did for the parameterization, go to the parameters. There we can see return date. This is the return date. Now you can observe. So already we did parameterization. Now here we have the offset will be there. If you selected this, it is asking for the offset. It's a 0 days. Means so it is current date is pick. If you give for the offset, if you not selected also, obviously it's pick for the current date. But I want for the future date. So you can check for this offset and you need to give for the number of days. For example, you can go to the calendar. So this is the 7th. I want to book the ticket. How many days it will be there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So I will give for the 5 is the upset and will run this and will observe for the in return date what date it will pick. Because date and time is a must you need to do for the if any script you have the date and time will be there you need to do because if you did for the today's script tomorrow you want to work on this script means you need to do for the date and time. See now you can observe what date is came 8th is came. We are given 5 days 1 2 3 4 5 days so it is the 8th pick. So you want for the future date means we can do for the this is the way you can do. Go to the parameters and you can observe 5 days. If you give for the 4, it will pick for the 7th. So just observe this. So how it is calculating means current date plus 4, current date plus 5. It is calculating. So now we can observe here current date. This is the current date plus we are given 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 means 7th date will become. So now go to the output window. See 7th. So we got for the future date. So maybe I want to book the ticket is a 5 days means 8th. Okay. 5 days means 8th. But 8th is the what day? Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday. But I don't want for the Saturday and Sundays. I want only working days only. Then you need to select for here. For example, we are giving for the 5 days. So it will pick for the 8th actually. But I don't want book for the holidays like Saturday, Sunday, weekends. No need to book the ticket. I want for the only working days. Then you need to select for the only working days. Then what date it will pick, you can guess. So actually date will be 8 will pick. But 8th and 9th is the weekend. So no working days. So what will happen? It is picked for the 10th. How we can observe? We get for the 10th or not? We can observe. Again, replay this. So now again come to the return date. We can observe what date is picked. 10th, right? So
Yes.
how it is happening? Current date plus 5 and only working days only because 8th and 9th is not working day. So that is why actual 5 days means 8th is our ticket book date. But I don't want for the working non-working days. So 8th, 9 is skipped and it is picked for the 10th. So based on your requirement, you can give for these properties like the offset, how many days you want. Maybe you want only working days, you can select for the working days. If you're not selecting working days, what will happen is it is picked for the like non-working days also. Your date will be picked. So it's clear, everyone. Future date. So
Yeah.
yeah. So future date. So like how it is coming, current date plus how many days you are giving. So any day, if you run for this script tomorrow, then it will work for the current date plus 5, current date plus 4, current days. So based on for the your properties, you selected working days or non-working days. Based on that, it is the current date plus that how many days you want, you can check. That is the future date. So that is fine. Maybe sometimes I want for the past date. So which situation this will be used means, for example, we have the date of birth will field will be there in our application. So date of birth is current date is accept everyone?
No.
No, right? It is past date also it will be there. So we are there. I am giving for the my date of birth. That is the future date or past date?
Past date.
Past date. So how to we can do for the past date means, for example, you need to select for the same future date how we have selected offset, and here we have the period to current date will be there. Means what will happen means if you select this period to current date, what is the current date minus 5 days? So how it is the plus 5 days is the future date, same way minus. For example, now we can observe this is the current date is the 3. 5 days means what will happen? 1, 2, 4, 5 days. So which date it will pick? 29th. So just will observe. So go to the script. You can observe what date is kept. So third month 29th is kept. So means if you want to give for the past date means you need to select for the period to current date. How many days you want? For example, if you give for the 365 days, means 1 year also can give, no worry. Okay. The tool itself it's calculated and it is due for the past date. You can observe I given for the 365 days minus. So this is the just example you can observe. See 2022 date itself. It will for the like 2020 days means total will be it is taking from the 2020 because I given for the 1 year 365 days. So means like this you can go to the past and future date. And here also same thing. you want for the only working days. Then same thing, it is observed 5 days means actually we got for the last time the 29th. So this time what will happen? 2 days we have holidays, Saturday, Sunday, first and second. Means it is picked from the 27th. So now you observe that is okay, only working days. I want book the ticket only working days. So anyone guess? Actually, I given pass date also. Our script is passing. Is it possible to book the ticket pass date?
No.
Real time? No, right? So actually, we want to book the ticket means future date only we can book. So, but this application is as a our load runner only they are provided. So that is the free tool. They are written for the like completely good scripting manner. So that is why if you did anything, it is pick for the date and your script will be never fail. So, but in real time, if you book for the flight, bus or anything, if you try to do for the past date, it is not accepted. So that is the thing you can observe. Okay, now we can observe 27 step. So now everyone is clear what is the past date and future date. Anyone can explain
Yes, sir.
how we can do for the past date and future date? Anyone? Rajshekhar,
Sorry, can you repeat?
Sunny. I
You mean
display screen
explain?
also. Yeah. So first you need to do for the parameterization, and after that we need to, you want for the future date means you need to check for the offset and how many days you want you can give. For this condition, we want only working days. You need to select for the only working days. Maybe working days also fine. You can uncheck this. That is the future date. Past date means you need to check for the period to current date. So when you are given period to current date, what will happen is current date minus number of days. This calculated. It's clear?
Yes.
So you guys can do for the experiment this. You can try to the future date, past date, and what in your mind, what are the thinking as a date and time parameterization. You need to try for the yourself how I did different ways, working days sometimes, non-working days, and future date, past date. You can try for the yourself and you can observe for the output window how the dates is changing. And
Can I?
these things also you can
Can I?
keep in your mind. Say maybe date of birth will be there. If you did like future date, that is not good. So that is also okay. I want to for the this date for the future date, past date. Maybe expire date will be there. So expire date also we want for the future date or past date. So based on that, you can select for the our properties. Yes, I think Rashekar, you are asking something.
Particularly, we want only year, past year. We can select only particularly not days, only year. Is it possible for
Uh,
1995?
Yeah, here means see, you can go to the proper parameters, right? Here you can give for the for example, you can remove this. Okay, your format is like this will be there. You did for the only 2023, you can do for the parameterization. So time is fine. Okay. So now you can give for the how many years you want, you can give for the year. Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
So your format, which format you want and what format is your application accept, that condition based you need to do this.
Okay.
And as same to the for now we are doing for the web tour application as a flight booking application. No one can book for the future date like more than 1 year like that, right? So only a month maximum we can book our ticket. next year or last next 3 years or next 5 years, no one is booked the ticket. So that is depends on the your requirement. So what things I can do for the parameterization? So in your mind, you need to keep in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have the date and time parameterization. This is the important. So interview point of view, they will ask for the how to do for the future date, past date, and they will ask for this kind of questions. So now going to the parameters only, you can after did for the username password. For example, where we did username, okay, username, and we are given for these names. So for example, we have the some properties will be there. So what are the properties means you can expand this sequential, random, unique will be there. 3 properties. And after that, each iteration, each occurrence and one's property will be there. So based on for the your application, based on your like requirement, you need to select for the these things. So what is the sequential? What is the random? What is the unique? First, you need to know. Sequential nothing but every user has to pick the first data point. So means sequentially it will pick. For example, first user pick the some. One is the username. One user pick the password A. Then what will happen means second user also it pick the A only. Third user also is pick the A only because this is the sequential. Sequential nothing but every user has to pick the first data point. So for example, for here I will simulate and I will show you here. Here we have the simulate will be there. Simulate nothing but how the value is picking we need to know. For here you can give for the number of user will be 5 users and number of iterations will be 5 and you can just click for the simulate. So now you can observe this is the usernames and you can observe iteration 1. First user is pick the Jojo. Second user also Jojo. Third user also Jojo. Fourth user Jojo. Fifth user Jojo. But you can observe iteration 2 different user, iteration 3 different user, iteration 4 different user, iteration 5 different user. So sequential stand for every user has to pick the first data point only and each iteration nothing but it updated for the every iteration. So it is updated for the every iteration. So that is the sequential each iteration. So now we'll see the same thing. See random each iteration we'll see random. So anyone guess random? What is the random? Like random nothing but speak for the random anything. So this kind of application, maybe unsecured applications will be there. So banking application, some different application you can do this point of view. It is a good thing. It's good manner because as a banking as a secure applications. So randomly picking means what will happen? My username it is picked and Sunny password will pick. It will work. It will not work, right? So this type of applications like unsecured applications. So no dependency, username, password. If you pick for the anything is work fine, then you need to select for the random property. Randomly it will pick for the anything. For example, we'll simulate and we'll observe. Just click for the simulate. Now you can observe user 1 will be Jojo 2, user 2 Jojo 1, Jojo 5, Jojo 4. Randomly it is picking anything. And iteration 2 also you can observe Jojo 4. Again also is pick randomly, same also. So this is the random each iteration. It's clear everyone? So next will be unique each iteration. Click on simulate and can give for the 2 iterations and 2 because unique stand for the every user has to pick the first data point. So 1-to-1 mapping. Like as a banking customer we are. So my username, my password only it will pick. Your username, your password only speak. So from secure application, we can go with this unique property is a good thing because your username, your password only pick like it's 1-to-1 mapping. So that is why maximum people it is accept this. See, now you can observe user 1 pick the Jojo, user 2 Jojo 2, and Jojo 1 and Jojo 3. So each iteration, when you are given for each iteration, right, what will happen means each iteration nothing but it is updated for the every iteration. So iteration means everyone will know, right? Complete business flow execution is complete business flow execution. One time execution is complete is called as a iteration. So understand, right, everyone? Each iteration nothing but. So same way we have the each occurrence property also will be there, and same you can select for the sequential, unique, random. You can select for the any one. For example, sequential each occurrence. So each iteration means it is the values updated for the every iteration. But when you are selecting for the each occurrence, it updated for the every occurrence. It updated for the every occurrence. Sequential stand for that is fine. Every user has to pick the first data point only. But occurrence means it updated for the every occurrence above the values. So random also same, random occurrence. So it is picked for the randomly, but it updated for the every iteration as a occurrence update for the occurrence. And unique stand for the every user has to pick the first unused data point, and occurrence nothing but it updated for the every occurrence. That is the occurrence story. And we have the one more property because I'm unable to showing for the occurrence, because if you click this simulate, you will get for the one message like you cannot simulate a parameter where updated value is not each occurrence. Means every time you need for the updated value. So every time updated occurrence value you need. So that is why you are unable to simulate here. So that is why I'm not simulated, just I explain for that occurrence property. Now we have the one more thing, once property. Unique once. First we'll come with the sequential onwards only. Okay. Sequential once. So not selected. Okay. So sequential once. Sequential stand for same, every user has to pick the first data point. But once nothing but first iteration time, what are the values is picked? All iterations it pick from the same value. So just you can observe here, simulate, and click for the simulate. Now you can observe user 1 pick the Jojo because you are took from the sequential. User 2 also same Jojo, user 5 up to. But you can observe iteration 2 also same pick because you are using for the property once property. What is the once property? Nothing but so first iteration time, what are the values picking from the your script? It is continue for the nth iteration. Maybe you are doing for the 1000 iteration. Same values will be updated. Now you can observe iteration 1 same, iteration 2, iteration 3, iteration 4, iteration 5. If you give for the how many iterations of the all iterations, you will be picked for the same way. That is the once property. So now we'll see the random ones also. Click for the simulate. See, now you can observe randomly. User will be picked the randomly. First is picking from the randomly anything. But you can observe once property, it will work. Iteration 1, what are the values is picked? Iteration 2, iteration 3, iteration 4, iteration 5, and nth iteration is picking from the same thing. So that is the property is the sequential random ones. And final, we have the unique ones. So click on simulate and again click for the simulate. Now you can observe unique nothing but 1-to-1 mapping. User 1 Jojo, user 2 Jojo 2, user 3 Jojo 2, and user 4 Jojo 3, user 5 4 Jojo 4. Means it is a 1-to-1 mapping. But you can observe when you are selected for the ones, so all the iterations picking from the same values, it is continue for the nth iteration also, it's same. So for here, you guys can observe one thing. So this unique, like sequential, unique, random, it is the same for the, if you are doing for the whatever maybe it is each iteration or each occurrence or once, it is the same. But what is the changing for the every iteration means based on for the these updated values it is picked. So each iteration, what is the each iteration means every time, every iteration users will be update for the every iteration. Occurrence means every iteration values will be update for the occurrence. Once nothing but what are the first iteration values picked from the like that is continue for the all the iteration as a nth iteration also speak. That is the story of these properties. So these properties also very important for us because depends on the our requirement. For example, so previous we are all used for the like recharge costs. Once we can use, we can use it.
No.
No, all right. For this point of view, which property it is suitable?
Unique.
Sorry?
Unique.
Yes, unique property. Because what is the unique? Nothing but unique stand for the every user has to pick the first unused data point. So this is a secure application. Say a banking, as a insurance, as a like social site or website, anywhere your username, your password is picked. So based on for that kind of requirement, you can use for this property. So anyone have any doubts regarding this parameter properties and date and time parameterization? So I'm telling one thing, if you not practice, your knowledge will be zero. Once our class is completed, your knowledge is zero. You are not going to do further this kind of testings, means you will forget everything, because learning is different, practice is different. Learning, if you maybe 3 days, maybe you have good memory, then more than 1 week you will get. But after that, your will be lost. But when your practice will be more, so you never will forget. Because practice is that is the practice. So that is why script wise you need to practice. For today I given for the assignment means you need to do that, and you need to think about it different ways. You can practice yourself. So just I simulated here only, right? Why can't we can simulate here? You can try in our script only. So first what you can do for the username password, and after that you can change for the here. First you can try with the sequential. Okay. Sequential, and you can try with the once property means first you can try once, just click on this and just execute for the multiple times, then only you will know for the what value is picking. For example, I am giving 3. Now you can observe 3 times means you need to do for this is the way. Just simulate I show for the your understanding point of view, but real time we need to simulate like this, and you need to observe for the output. First iteration time what value is picked. So it's a can observe starting iteration 1, and can come to the username password Jojo Bean. First iteration time speak for the Jojo Bean, and second iteration go to the second iteration. See ending iteration 1, starting iteration 1, and come to the output window. See Jojo 1, Bean 1. And next will be speaking from the Jojo to Bean 2. So you need to observe, this is the way you need to observe each and the property you need to try. So how I simulated there, you need to real time you need to do for here, and what output is coming. you need to note down one book or one notepad you can take. First iteration time, what is the username password scale? Second iteration time, what is that? And so you need to compare that, and then only you will get for the good knowledge for the as a performance testing point of view. So parameterization concept is very simple, but you need to practice well.